Hello everyone, welcome back to another video. Today the weather is certainly turning a bit more interesting today and by the weekend as well, potentially with another shot at cold and possibly snowy weather across all of the UK and Ireland by the weekend. But first we've got some pretty unsettled weather, so I'll start off with that. As you can see, we have wind warnings issued by the Met Office, one for all of Northern Ireland, and then one for parts of Northwest Wales and Northwest England, but that's mainly for coastal areas. If we click on the warning, you can see it's valid from 3 o'clock today to 3 AM tomorrow, so it's coming in about 24 minutes. And as you can see, possibly some delays, transport disruption, and winds are likely to increase during Thursday afternoon. Gales and severe gales are possible. 40 to 55 mile an hour winds are likely for many, with a chance of 65 to 70 mile an hour gusts. So it could be some quite strong winds this evening. We can look at the Met Office UKV model. This is a wind chart. This is for now. As you can see, we already have very strong winds of likely around 80 miles an hour hitting parts of Western Ireland, especially the coasts, and then that moves inland by the evening. You can see 50 to 60 mile an hour gusts are looking quite possible through Northern Ireland, those very strong winds continuing across Western Ireland. And then we get those strong winds start to spread through the Irish Sea, parts of Scotland, and then especially Northern Wales and Northwest England, affected by those 60 and potentially 70 mile an hour gusts. So quite windy, that's through tonight, and then those winds kind of clearing by the morning, though it will be a blustery day across the UK for many. If we then turn to the weekend, I'll just get rid of those tabs, things turn a bit more interesting. I'll start off with showing a few weather model runs, just to give kind of a broad picture, and then we'll go into a bit more detail. But you can see the colours show rain, purple shows forecast snow, and then black is the lines of equal pressure or isobars. The wind flows clockwise around low pressure systems and then anti-clockwise around high pressure systems. And you can see this is by Friday. We've got another low pressure coming into the UK. Could be a bit windy across the south with some rain, possibly some flooding issues. But then notice, interestingly, what happens is we get this low clearing to the east of the UK. And I'm not sure if you just remember me saying, but basically the wind will flow anti-clockwise, like this, as you can see. I might have got it wrong earlier, but so anti-clockwise around low pressure and clockwise around high pressure. That's what I meant to say. But you can see, so the wind's flowing anti-clockwise like that. We've got high pressure to the north, and similarly to December, it's not going to be a super similar setup, but we kind of bring in that northerly airflow, as you can see, and those pink colours indicating where things are starting to turn a bit colder. This is why Sunday, as you can see, we have this low kind of moving into the southwest, and then you kind of notice that we get this relatively kind of slack wind. The isobars are not tight together, but we do have this northerly flow coming in like this. And if I show you the temperature map, you can see it's going to be pretty cold. Those dark blues showing the air which is cold enough for snow, and that cold air does spread south actually by Sunday. We have that cold air getting all the way south, though it's actually a good idea to get kind of better confidence by looking at multiple model runs. So we'll look at the European model, and actually you can see it shows the same thing. There's that low. It's going to be a very wet day across the south on kind of Saturday, possibly into Friday as well. You can see lots of rain there, and then we get those winds coming in now from the north, especially kind of the northwest, as that low clears, and we get that cold air moving south by Sunday, and it's covering the whole of the UK. So the European and GFS model are agreeing up to this stage that we're going to get that low, so agreement is good. We'll just look at one more model here, and you can see it's basically showing the same thing, that low clears to the east, and then we get that cold air. So we know by Sunday there is going to be the risk of snow showers across the UK, especially along northern and western areas. We'll likely have some snow warnings issued by Sunday, the weekend. And you can see we get that cold air, the snow showers piling in, and possibly the risk of snow a bit further south as well by Sunday. You can see snow showers, northern, western areas piling in, possibly some mixed sleet, bit of snow across the south on Sunday, small chance of that. But then we do get those continued snow showers. Like I said, it's mainly going to be western and northern areas through Monday. And then we see something potentially a little bit interesting. I'll show you the GFS, and you can just see this here. We have this big low. Or actually, I'll just draw it out. So we have this jet stream kind of here along that temperature gradient. You can imagine this is very fast flowing air above the ground, and what that can do is that can rapidly deepen low pressure systems. So we have this low coming in here. As you can see, there's our low, and then notice how it quickly goes from around 1,000 millibars of pressure to suddenly below 970 millibars, and that would technically be rapid deepening. And what happens when you get rapid deepening is you get a lot of rain, a lot of strong winds, and interestingly, on this particular model run, what happens is that rain bumps into cold air on the northern edge of the jet stream, and we get precipitation turning to snow across the south on Monday into Tuesday and possibly into Wednesday. So that's quite an interesting scenario for the GFS to show, because if it occurred, it would be very significant. And actually, this is not the only model which has been showing something like this. The European model, I'll show you the latest run. It doesn't have anything as significant as the GFS, but you still see we have kind of low pressure with areas of snow Monday into Tuesday across the south. But then if I show you yesterday's run, that was a 12 o'clock run, this was something quite crazy. A very, very deep low pressure system moving in that jet stream with blizzard conditions across the south of UK and Ireland, with a very large covering of snow for many. So that was the kind of quite crazy model run last night. And then if I show you the GEM, this is a Canadian model, you can see it's kind of in between all kind of the current European model, the current GFS model, and the crazy run last night, with a low swinging to the kind of south, not particularly deep, but still enough to bring a snow risk on the northern edge across southern England. However, the kind of high end, the highest possible impact scenario from this low could be quite severe. That is European model run I showed you. So it's quite interesting if you look at some of the trends in the GEFS model. So this is so this is a GIF I just made, or GIF, I don't know how you say it, but each of these lines kind of shows the different possible tracks of a low pressure system, and the kind of lighter, more yellow colours show a deeper low pressure system, and deeper low generally it's kind of a higher threat of snow because we have more precipitation, kind of the cold air is dragged in more intensely. So notice this is, I'll start off, so this was yesterday's 12 o'clock run. You can see we didn't have really any model runs showing kind of the low moving south like the European model did. And then notice this by the 6 o'clock run, 6 p.m. run actually, you can see a couple more there, and then kind of noticeably, I'll show you the midnight run, you can see we have a few more, and in the latest run we actually have a fairly good signal now of the low passing through like this. You can see we've got fairly good signal that we're going to have a low passing through this kind of corridor. It could be anywhere from quite a strong low, 960 millibars as shown there, to a relatively weak low, 970, 980 millibars, like that. So there is still uncertainty, but we are potentially seeing a trend towards a more confident track on this low moving south, with the risk, it's not certain yet, but the risk of snow. And if we just take a quick look at the ensemble models, we'll start with Manchester here. You can see, actually I want this to be a, actually doesn't matter. So you can see, I'll show you the new snow accumulation, and on the ensembles, interestingly, we have quite a big spike starting around the 15th of January. This is likely going to be from those wintry showers, and then potentially something a bit more significant for the 17th to the 18th, like that. You have all those spikes, the average goes up, so a heightened risk of snow there. You can see similar thing for London, quite a lot of spikes. The average increases, and like I said, the maximum kind of impact scenario could be quite significant. If London saw 14 centimeters of snow, it would be pretty crazy. But then again, you can see many which go kind of 0 centimeters of snow. So there is uncertainty, but there is definitely kind of a trend towards the possibility of something snowy by next week. And if we look further north, you can see continued risk of snow across Scotland from those snow showers, and possibly longer areas of snow. And then similarly to kind of December, if we ended up getting kind of a unstable kind of situation like this, this kind of low, if that moves out of the way by kind of midweek, we could see a unstable situation, low pressure systems, a lot of kind of small areas of enhanced lift, giving generally the chance of snow anywhere like we saw in December. So it's going to be too early to say at the minute, but definitely a heightened risk of snow through the UK by midweek, and potentially something significant, or at least to look out for, across the south and west by Monday, and then snow showers fairly widely across northern western areas Sunday, Monday, potentially a bit further south. Thank you so much for watching, everyone. Have a nice day.